Hey everyone, welcome to my live stream. We are going to break down some winter precipitation that's moving through tonight and into Wednesday. Let's take a look here at what we are. Oh, nope, that's not right. There we go. All right, let's break down some precipitation that's moving through tonight. So it's going to start around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, moving through the western counties of Maine, eventually moving through the state, probably around 11 p.m. this evening. You should start seeing some snowfall if you are around the Portland area or Lewiston, areas like that. You're going to start a little bit later than 9 p.m. That's just when it's going to start to move through the western counties here. The end time for this will be on Wednesday. It might be a little bit later than the morning. We're thinking now maybe midday time. Definitely the possibility for some school delays and things of that nature. Even some power outages are possible with this one. So we're starting off as snow. I'm going to look at some snowfall totals in just a minute, but everyone should be starting out as some snowfall. You could get up to an inch or two if you're along the coast, especially, and then more as you move north and inland. We're then going to switch over to sleet and freezing rain. Now, there's some differences between sleet and freezing rain. Sleet, you're probably going to see more of that towards the mountains, and as you move towards the interior, freezing rain you're going to see more of near the coastline. And freezing rain's the one that makes some messy conditions. It freezes to the roads upon impact. It freezes to your car, to your walkways, to your driveways, things of that nature. Sleet more so pings. It'll ping off of trees. It'll ping off of the roads. So sleet isn't necessarily messy as freezing rain is. And freezing rain is going to be the big topic along the coast. And then eventually through the day on Wednesday, the coast will switch over to purely rainfall. So we are expecting a slick and icy Wednesday commute out of this system. Now let's break it down. We're going to see this low pressure system move out of the Great Lakes region. We're going to start off as snow, as I mentioned before, and then we're going to have this warm front slowly creep towards the inland towns. And that's when we're going to see a switch over to from snow to freezing rain along the coast, and then eventually to purely rainfall along the coast as well. And this is Wednesday at 10 a.m., so it might stop a little bit later than the morning time. And this is as we move through the early afternoon. Some precipitation is still possible, but overall it will be moving out from west to east. Now let's break this down hour by hour here. This is around 9:30 tonight. If I back it up just a little bit, you can see snowfall is going to start around 8 or 9 p.m. this evening, starting through the western towns and eventually making its way eastward. So, of course, if you live more east, that the snow is going to start a little bit later for you guys. But here we are, Freiburg. You should start seeing some snow flurries down in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. We are then going to continue and move on through the overnight hours tonight. You can see that this is still snowfall by 12 a.m. Tonight. Snowfall still expected, and then we're going to make a change over to some freezing rain, as you can see in the pink colors. Here it is. It moves through. This is very early in the morning on Wednesday. This is 5:30 in the morning. If you are out doing a early morning commute, as I know some of you do, you definitely want to take it slow in the morning, and it's going to be throughout the entire morning that you want to take it slow. There may be some school delays, and the areas in pink is what we want to look out for. Let's see if I can draw maybe. It might not let me today. But yes, the pink areas, you're going to see some freezing rain and eventually switch over to some rainfall, but freezing rain and some ice accumulations are definitely possible along the coast. And then you can see some switch over to rain, but at this point it's starting to move out. This is 1 p.m. on Wednesday, and this model might be a little bit underdone, which means you're not seeing some steady rainfall over towards Rockland currently at 1 p.m. on Wednesday, but it's definitely still possible that we could see rain throughout the early afternoon on Wednesday. But overall, the snow will be clearing out. Temperatures are in the mid to lower 30s at this point, and it should be a relatively warmer day, especially if you are along the coast, than it was today. We're then going to start to clear out as we head through the evening and overnight hours, Wednesday night into Thursday. And Thursday is your pick of the week. We are seeing lots of sunshine on Thursday. It should be a relatively nice day with temperatures, I believe, reaching the lower 40s. We'll check on that when we hit the 7-day forecast. But here we go, talking about some snowfall totals. If you're along the coast, you might not see any snow at all. The immediate coastline through mid-coast, down East Maine, even the southern portion of York County, you might not get any snow. If anything, a coating, but then you move a little bit north and through Portland and Sanford, a coating to 2 inches of snow are expected. And this is before it switches over to freezing rain. So you're going to see a coating to 2 inches, and the freezing rain might not be too terrible just because we're seeing some snowfall beforehand. So what this does, it's going to fall on top of some possibly fluffy snow. It might be a little bit more dense tomorrow, especially since we have that freezing line making it pretty far up the state. However, we are then going to see the freezing rain fall on some snow. It's going to condense the snow and make it more of a crunchy snowfall, as we like to say. So if you move north in this darker blue color, we're expecting 2 to 4 inches of snowfall through Freiburg, Lewiston, just north of Augusta, Rangeley, and Greenville. I'm expecting 2 to 4 inches of snowfall for you. And even as you move north and east of Greenville as well, 2 to 4 inches are still possible. We might extend that bubble just a little bit. But overall, we're looking at the Freiburg area, the Rangeley area, 2 to 4 inches of snowfall expected for you guys. And that's pretty much the jackpot area through the White Mountains of New Hampshire, Vermont as well, Burlington, 2 to 4 inches of snowfall. Now let's take a look at some ice accretions or ice accumulations. We're expecting up to 0.15 inches of ice accretion along the coastal plain. And I'm going to say that this is more expected for Portsmouth, New Hampshire, areas like Sanford and Portland. I would say that you guys have the best chance of getting some ice accumulations tomorrow morning for your early morning commute. So that means slower travel. You definitely want to leave early if you have to leave tomorrow morning to go to work or drop the kids off at school. Make sure you give yourself enough time to leave pretty early in the morning to get to your place on time. Places like Rockland and Bar Harbor, I want to say, have a lesser chance of getting that 0.15 inches of ice. It's definitely going to be more isolated to the southern New Hampshire areas and southern Maine, even towards mid-coast Maine as well. But up to 0.15 inches of ice is possible. So you definitely want to, again, leave yourself some time to leave in the morning, wake up a little bit earlier, leave a little bit earlier, so the plows have enough time to put some dirt or ice out. Wow, they're not going to add ice. Put some salt out there for you guys on the roads. So if you are headed out this evening, if you're doing any travel or you're going out to dinner tonight, the evening commute won't be bad. We're not expecting snowfall to begin until around 8, maybe 9 p.m. tonight into 10 p.m. So we're expecting temperatures again to climb into the upper 20s, actually move through the evening hours, and then they'll start to drop off as we hit 12 a.m., 2 a.m. this morning. We're going to see those light snow showers begin, and it's going to become a little bit heavier in between 12 a.m. and 5 a.m. overnight tonight. It's going to be when the heaviest snowfall will be accumulating out on the grounds, and then the freezing rain is going to switch over, maybe some sleet up in the mountains, freezing rain along the coastal plain. And again, this is the messy stuff, the stuff that sticks to your car, sticks to your porch, everything like that. So it's going to definitely make a little bit of a slicker travel, but again, it's falling on top of snow. So it's a better of just completely freezing rain. And so the wind also won't be an issue really at all. Calm winds are expected as of now to 6 p.m. So wind isn't really going to be too much of an issue. But again, with ice, there's always the threat for some freezing rain out there. With freezing rain, there's also always the possibility of some power outages out there. So you definitely want to make sure you're prepared in case that happens. Overall, the next 3 days, we do have the excuse the blankness on Tuesday. We have moved past, and now we're just going into Wednesday. So we are expecting that weather warn to go into effect overnight tonight into the morning on Wednesday. Weather warn should end around noontime tomorrow. Freezing rain expected in the early morning, and then switching over to purely rainfall. So it's going to be a bit messy, especially along the coast, with more of a plowable snow as you move north and inland. Sunshine is expected for Thursday. It's going to be the pick of the week. We're going to have lots of sunshine, maybe a few clouds, but look at that high temperature. Low 40s. I'm personally very excited for that. And warming trend throughout the weekend too, I'm expecting low 40s. So that'll be really nice. Again, here's a look at your winter storm headlines for tonight, just as a little recap. Starting around 9 p.m. tonight, ending around midday on Wednesday. It could linger into the afternoon hours, and if it does, it's going to be early afternoon, and it may even stop before then. But overall, we're starting off as snow. You could pick up an inch or two along the coast. That's possible. More as you move north and inland. It's then going to switch over to sleet, especially for the mountains, and then some freezing rain along the coastal plain. And that's by the time of your very early morning commute, around 5:36 if you leave at that time. And it could impact your, again, 8 o'clock commute as well. And you definitely want to take it slow, as if I can't drill that enough. But rain showers are expected to completely move through the coastal plain and switch over to purely rainfall, I should say. So again, slick travel Wednesday morning commute. Conditions will then improve as you move through the afternoon hours on Wednesday, and commute will not be as big of an issue or big of a icy situation by the time we reach the evening commute tomorrow. Again, if you want to look at your 7-day forecast, here we are. Weather warn again in effect overnight tonight and into Wednesday morning. Some sunshine for Thursday with a nice warm up. We're looking at temperatures in the low 40s for Thursday and Friday. We are then tracking some more scattered rain showers. Again, with that temperature in the low 40s, we are above freezing. We're going to see possible scattered late day rain showers on Friday, and then another system possibly moving through late Saturday night and into Sunday. Could be a wintry mix as those temperatures drop down overnight into the lower 30s. But overall, we're not looking at temperatures too bad. I'm pretty excited for this warm up we have in store this weekend. And then for the start of the next work week, we're going to be sunny and breezy as the system moves out, and temperatures will fall back down into the lower 30s. So we might get cooler again to start the next work week. But overall, and let me pull up your inland temperatures as well in case you're not along the coast, but you still got a decent warm up for inland towns. We're climbing again near 40 for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So it's something to definitely look forward to, minus the kind of gross weather we're seeing overnight tonight and tomorrow. That's going to make your commute in the morning a little sticky. All right, so that's what I have for you guys today. Nothing we can't handle as far as the snow and the freezing rain. Actually, the system we saw a little while ago was definitely worse for some freezing rain. I remember some places picking up over 1/4 of an inch of ice with that one. Let's look at some comments from you guys. Brandon says, will there be any widespread power outages in the Lewiston-Auburn area? Well, power outages are definitely a concern, but we have some factors to consider. It won't be windy, so wind won't be too much of an issue. If you do get some ice accumulations, it's definitely possible that it'll weigh down the trees and weigh down the power lines. But again, the ice accumulations, let me pull up that map. Ice accumulations, I'm expecting not so much for the Lewiston-Auburn area, more so for south of you guys and down into Sanford and Portland. You could pick up a 0.15 inch of ice accumulations. And I believe power outages are possible when you have 1/4 of an inch of ice on some power lines, but I'm going to have to go fact check that. So that's what your ice accumulations are looking like for tomorrow. Rich is watching from Billerica, Massachusetts. Thank you, Rich. Christine says, thank you for the update. I'm staying home tomorrow. Good. It'll be a good day in. I don't blame you. Josh is wondering about some snowfall totals. I can pull that back up for you guys. Coating to 2 inches along the coastal plain, and some areas along the immediate coast might not even see a coating, but a coating's possible, I'd say, along that coastal plain. And coating to 2 inches in the Portland area, Sanford, north of Rockland through Bangor. And then as you move north and inland through Lewiston, north of Augusta, Fryeburg, Greenville, Rangeley, 2 to 4 inches are possible in those areas through the White Mountains of New Hampshire and, of course, through Burlington, Vermont. Janice wants to know about timing. I will review that once again. Let me pull up some of my storm headlines. So the timing for the system moving through tonight is going to be around 8 or 9 p.m. tonight. And if you live in the western part of the state, it's going to start a little sooner, like 8 p.m. And then it's going to end around midday on Wednesday. So that's your timing. If you live more east, you're going to see snow a little bit later, probably around 11 p.m. tonight as it moves from west to east. But overall timing, we are saying around 9 p.m. tonight. And then it's going to end in the midday on Wednesday. Again, we're starting off as snow, moving over to sleet in the mountains and some freezing rain near the coast. And then the coast will see some pure rainfall, leaving us with a slick commute Wednesday morning. Tony says it's going to be a mess. Yes, it will be a mess, especially for the coast. And Jesse wants to know if there's school cancellations possible. Cancellations are possible. I think school morning delays are more possible than a full cancellation. Again, it's going to be up to where you live. So again, 2 to 4 inches of snowfall even possible as you move north. Let me put that snowfall map up again. The big concern for me will be the freezing rain in the early morning. By the time the buses go out and pick up the kids, they might want to put out a delay for tomorrow morning, especially if you're along the Sanford, Portland area, even up through Lewiston, Augusta. Honestly, you could definitely delay is possible. And even 2 to 4 inches of snow, you could possibly bring a delay. But the snow, again, is going to end through the midday and conditions will improve throughout the afternoon. So even by the time a delay occurs, the roads still might be a little bit messy, but hopefully there's enough time for the plows to get out there and really clean up the roads for you guys. Norma wants to know about Livermore Falls. So Livermore Falls, you guys could get around 2 inches of snowfall. Icing is possible as that rain snow line moves up the state. And it's still going to be pretty messy. Some freezing rain possible, snowfall around 2 inches for you guys, I'd say. And yeah, it is going to be a little bit messy, especially in the morning commute, as we are expecting 0.15 inches of ice accumulation. It's definitely something you want to look out for. And again, the timing for this to wrap it all up is going to be around late this evening through midday on Wednesday. It's going to start out as some snow and then change over to freezing rain along the coast and possibly some of the interior, and then move over to purely rain. But if you are north and up in the mountains, you will mostly see snowfall out of this system. All right. And that is pretty much all I have for you guys. I'll pull up the snow map one last time for you. And yeah, all right. That is all I have for you guys. I hope you have a fantastic evening and that you stay safe and warm. And if you're leaving tomorrow, make sure you have some extra time in the early morning commute to get up to the bus stop okay, if there are no delays, or delays are definitely possible for tomorrow. And make sure you leave yourself enough time to get to work in the morning. I know I'll have to. But yeah, stay safe, everyone. Thanks for joining the live stream. Yeah. Alexis says, thank you. You're so welcome. All right. All right. And then Georgia actually says, how many inches in J? So let's see. I'm going to have to look up exactly where J is in Maine. Don't mind me real quick. Still relatively new to the area. Okay. So I see where J is now. So J, I'm going to put you in that 2 to 4 inch range of snowfall. Freezing rain isn't as much of a likely for you guys, but 2 to 4 inches of snow, definitely a plowable snow. Freezing rain, I'm not going to completely rule it out for you guys. But definitely 2 to 4 inches of snow, you fall into that category. And then one more. Brandon asks, will the road conditions improve for the afternoon time tomorrow between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m.? Yes, the road conditions will start to improve as you head through those afternoon hours and into the early evening. I'm not expecting much of a mess in the early evening commute, and the conditions will start to improve as the snow begins to stop and the plows can get out there and plow the roads for you guys. So conditions will definitely be improving. They're not going to be perfect by that time frame around 1 p.m. to around 4 p.m., but they're definitely going to be improving. All right, everyone, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you all stay safe and enjoy the rest of your night. All right. Bye, everyone.